All right, welcome back to New Arenas. This is episode 16. I am Vince Quinn, and joining me from a beautiful marina in Portugal, Ryan McCumber. Hello, Ryan.
What's up, Vince? How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. The Philly sports are about as miserable as they've ever been in certain respects. But otherwise, personally, I'm just fine.
Phillies are playing well.
No, Phillies are good. The Sixers are just a train wreck, and there's a lot of mileage with that, and it's aging me. It's aging me greatly. But outside of that, we have good things going on, which is the nice thing about doing the show. It's generally a wholly positive experience. So we got a couple of guys coming on today that we've met with before. So if you just want to explain who we got coming on today.
Yeah, sure. So today we have Elias Andersen from Hear Me Cheer coming on from Toronto. We had him on one of the very first shows, and they were, I think, selected by 6 or 7 of the clubs. And then we have on Adam Jones from Vici FanFest, who just completed a pilot with Paris Saint-Germain up through the UEFA Finals, which took place in Lisbon. And his product is fantastic. And he was also, I think he was selected by 6 or 7, if not 7 or 8 of the clubs. And both of them have successfully won pilots throughout this program. So we'll hear about it today.
Yeah, so we'll hear about that. Obviously, we'll talk a little bit about Demo Day. That's coming up. This is all through the Hype Global Virtual Accelerator. And New Arenas, by the way, is presented by Fist. Let's get to it.
So on the show today, we have 2 people who are on the very beginning. So Elias Andersen from Hear Me Cheer, Champ Tracks from Toronto. And Adam Jones, still in France, from Vici FanFest. Where in France are you, Adam?
Paris. Civilization.
Civilization. Okay. All right, so let's get started. So I strategically picked the 2 of you because you're actually going to be working on a pilot together. But let's start off with Elias. Maybe, Elias, walk us through kind of your journey within the accelerator last few weeks, who you met with, and then we can wrap up with some of the pilots. But also talk about stuff you did outside the accelerator, because obviously you're moving 100 miles an hour. I know you picked up a pretty famous club in New York. So just tell us about how it's been going.
Yeah, the journey's been great. Back in March or April when we first talked to you, Ryan, I had no idea what to expect with this program. It was definitely an unknown. So just having the ability to sort of sit there and trust that we were going to get these pilots with these clubs and have a chance and opportunity to speak to all these different clubs and get selected by 7 of them to move forward with more discussion and more information was a great experience. And then to move from those 7 discussions and try and get 3 or 4 contracts or at least 2 or 3 contracts out of it has just been a great experience. So we kind of went from no product back when we started talking to you in March or April to working with ESPN in June, and then continuing our contract with them and expanding into a lot of different sports, including we're doing a lot of work with MLS teams. Right now, our big MLS client is the New York Red Bulls. We did their game last night, and that was a lot of fun. It was a great game, and I think going forward, we're going to be working with a number of different clubs and opportunities to sort of build upon what we've done so far. So within Hype, we had a really good opportunity to sort of progress.
Now, real quick, with ESPN, the fact that you're doing work with them, I mean, where have people been able to see your stuff with ESPN, or what has that involvement been?
Yeah, so we've been working with ESPN Boxing, so Top Rank and ESPN in a joint effort. So we've been doing all the Top Rank events, which they've been running out of Las Vegas. And so it's been a great experience to sort of get onto national TV within 2 or 3 months of actually having a product. And then being able to, just that first night of on national TV, we had over 150 requests for other games, events, stuff like that. So that was just an amazing experience that I wouldn't trade for anything.
Well, yeah, I mean, what is that like for you, though? Because you just start this thing, you get the product, and now you're on ESPN, and everybody's calling you. Like, what was your feeling that night, just like personally? What was it like to experience all that?
I had some, we had some friends over for our own celebratory party. I know I shouldn't be saying that because we were in quarantine, we're supposed to be in quarantine then, but no, it was a really good experience overall. And, you know, we had some friends over and just, you know, had a good time and just watched it live and heard all the voices on, and to just know that your content has made it prime time on ESPN and their 7 o'clock slot with the biggest event, you know, that's happening in North America at the time was just, you know, nothing short of unbelievable. So, you know, and then the fact that they wanted to continue and keep upping their contract with us and doing more and more work with us in other sports and other events and, you know, more boxing. I mean, we just announced yesterday that we have extended our contract with ESPN through the end of October. So obviously, you know, they've liked what we've done so far and we've really provided value to them. They've provided a ton of value back to us.
Great. So I know you've been talking to extensively. I think, as you said, you had 7 in the beginning. I think we know that Belgium is going to be live. So Belgium's an official deal that's going to be going live on Tuesday. And then you're still in some discussions with FIBA, some discussions with some of the others. But Belgium, so what are you exactly going to be doing for Belgium?
Yeah, so for Belgium, actually, we're working with this other company, you know, working with Adam on really creating this great product that's really enables the user to actually have their video and their voice heard and potentially even seen within the stadium. So that's really cool that we're able to not only work with a top-notch client like the Belgian national football team, but also sort of work with another really top-notch company to sort of bring this solution from, you know, here where it's just an audio solution to sort of, you know, more of a broader scope where you can be, you know, one of those virtual fans. I honestly think that our system combined would trump any of the, you know, Microsoft Teams or anything else like that that's being used in the NBA, the NHL, or really any other league. So I think there's a lot of possibility for Vici FanFest and Hear Me Cheer to sort of work together and to really create that out-of-the-box solution.
Putting FanFest aside, so I know you had the deal signed now for a few weeks with Belgium. You're working with the broadcaster as well, right? So your feed is going to go into the broadcast as well as to the stadium, or what's the process there?
Yeah, so we're working on a few different possibilities. Either the feed goes directly into the stadium, and the microphones that are on field, like the natural microphones, pick up that sound. And that's how we've been doing it with like the New York Red Bulls, for instance. So we're either doing that or we're pumping it directly into the broadcast feed as well. I personally enjoy the experience of pushing it into the stadium more because I feel like that is more authentic. You know, then the fans actually sound truly like they would if they were sitting at a game.
Got it. Let's shift over to you, Adam. So you also, I think you won 7 or 8 in the beginning. Tell us where you are in some of these, and kind of then we'll talk about PSG, which was one that, you know, you're already doing before this program started, but that's been live. So tell us a little about the journey.
Yeah, no, it's definitely been an interesting journey. I mean, we from day one we saw this as a pretty unique opportunity to get in front of decision makers at a lot of franchises beyond just soccer/European football very quickly, and it's largely lived up to that goal. So yeah, honestly, I can't believe it's already happened now because it feels like the summer just blew by. But really, really productive. I think we'll immediately step out of this with maybe 3 or 4 deals, and then it sounds like just given where the various teams are in their calendar and their leagues. Some teams, their season hasn't even restarted yet, so it's hard for them to commit to a pilot, you know. So, but now we have the relationship, so that's how we see. I think it's immediate value, but then medium-term value later this year. So,
So, well, Adam, out of curiosity, because we got to talk to you obviously at the beginning of all of this with the accelerator and as it was just getting started. So, I mean, compared to what your expectations were when you were going into this, and now you've got all these different opportunities lined up. I mean, how's the whole experience been?
It's been awesome, but I think that the single most, so much of startups is kind of learning on the fly, right? And I think one of the most valuable pieces was, I think when we spoke last, we really saw FanFest as like, a better way for a team to actually like deliver and host, like almost like a better Zoom, a sports Zoom that was all branded by them, but they can do the same kind of thing, big town halls, big, whatever, one-to-many communications. And I think what has become super clear during the program, and that's why we built, and that's actually why the joint venture with Chair is even more valuable, is because we kind of tweak the product. It's not about a glorified Zoom. It's actually about creating like a safe way for small groups of fans, infinite number of small groups of fans to watch the game. So, and like that experience is what fans want, because they shouldn't be going to bars, they shouldn't be going to each other's houses like Elias is doing. They can't go to the stadium. And so like, and teams want to deliver that. They want to fill that void. And so I think that's the biggest change since we talked last time, Vince. Before we were like, we can deliver like all these kind of crazy virtual live events. And now it's like, no. I just want like me and like 4 of my homies in a room virtually. And like us drinking and watching the game. Yeah. But like an infinite number of those rooms and it all being hosted by the team. And so like, that's what FanFest has become. And I think that's why we've seen the success.
Why don't you show Vince the PSG? Let's see what it was like. And Vince, we didn't really discuss this, but when Amir and I stepped back and said, let's choose one big European soccer club, we picked PSG because I knew they were going to make the finals.
Yeah, so I'll show a few different videos just to talk it through, but this is really what FanFest has become. So in this example, so before games, it's literally like a virtual tailgate with a few fans. This is a bunch of PSG fans in Seattle who are obviously socially distanced, but watching the team's content pre-match while just kind of talking trash. This is an example of after a big win, the team itself actually took one of their spokespeople. So that's Laura Below. She's like a former women's national team player. She played at the national level and also played for PSG on the women's team. She like popped into one of these virtual rooms. These are fans in Singapore. These are French people in Singapore who just watched their team come back and win. And then they see like this famous player nationally, like what? Like, so you see their face, they're kind of like excited, but also shook at the same time, right?
Yeah.
And she hadn't touched, to give you a sense, we didn't onboard her. Like she just flipped open a laptop, opened a Chrome tab, and was like, wow, it's fucking FanFest. What do I think? And so like, amazing. So that was awesome. So that was like one piece of the journey.
Can you show it the goal scored? Yeah, here we go.
Yeah, this is what Ryan's super excited about. I'll turn on the audio. But in this specific example, so PSG was so happy over the quarterfinals and the semifinals of the Champions League. They had literally pushed this out to fans in over 100 cities. Those fans were inviting, one fan, 2 fans each. They were creating their own little rooms. They were so excited that for the final, Univision in the US was like, we want fans in the broadcast. Like, we can't send a camera crew to a bar. Like, what do we do? Let's get a Zoom room. And so PSG was like, well, actually, like the last 2 weeks, our fans have been using FanFest. So like, talk to Adam. And so in like within 15, 30 minutes, Univision, we talked to Univision production team. They had figured out a way, because our entire solution is web-based, to integrate that directly into the live broadcast, which ended up reaching at peak about 2.5 million people.
With 2 million viewers. 2 million viewers.
Wow.
Like close. I think peak was like 2.5. So, it's been a ridiculous. This all happened in the last like 4 weeks. So I'd say, getting in the hype is kind of similar to Elias. Like we had a working solution, but in discussion with the team, we realized we had to go from like one size fits all big Zoom room to like little watch parties, but for everybody. And so we made that evolution while talking to all these teams. and then got this thing out the door, and then somehow got on TV, and now it's like, yeah, it's just crazy. So,
Adam, one more thing. Can you show him the goal scored? Because that's really where you get the benefit when you score that goal. Can you share that part or no?
Yeah, let me find that video.
So while you're teeing that up, on Tuesday, we have demo day for the Hype program. Starts at 10 a.m. Eastern time. Down in the links below, you're going to be able to register. But we'll have all the clubs be talking to us. Belgium's going to be talking live from the Belgian stadium, which is basically that night they play against Iceland. But let's just see this PSG. Watch this, Vince, when the goal scored.
This is a group in Latin America. This is the first. And so, like, at this point, PSG was like about to lose this game, about to crash out.
About to lose.
And then it's like, there we go. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
like,
there we go.
Very quickly. Yeah. People just start going crazy. So, like, that's a taste of the FanFest experience. And so I think one of the biggest lessons learned is honestly, like, we're really excited to work with broadcasters additionally so that actually fans can watch the game in FanFest. But it's like, as an intermediate step, it's enough just to like watch it with your crew, because these guys were just going crazy. So anyway,
the beauty of it, what Belgium's going to be doing is the game is Belgium versus Iceland, live in the stadium. Manu, representative we had on the show a few episodes ago, he's going to be live from the stadium. He's going to announce that, you know, my winners are full venue. My winners are Vici and Hear Me Cheer. And tonight in the game, we're going to have Vici. You can get in your own Zoom room. You're going to be cheering, and we're going to do this live. And we're going to be cutting to the game a few times from demo day, showing the game, and we're going to be cheering and watching it happen real time. We're all actually going to download the app, Elias, and we're going to ask everyone to cheer for Belgium.
Yeah, man. So yeah, and like that's why I think it's I think, as you just saw, actually, it's a great clip because it's a very natural integration. It's like we've got a bunch of fans watching the game, just talking and cheering. Now they're cheering and hear me cheer just automatically, just completely passively. So, you know, we see ourselves like.
If you want to join the Belgian room, you can join the Belgian room and join into the conference from the room. We can tap into you.
Exactly.
Well, yeah. Do they take English-speaking guys? Am I going to lose everything? Am I going to be in a room with people that I can't understand?
You don't speak Flemish?
No. You know, I've been trying to brush up on that lately. I just haven't quite gotten around to it. Maybe soon.
Belgium speak like 5 languages, man. I'm sure you'll be covered. As long as you know a little bit of each one, you're good. You're good.
As long as I have a beer up to cheers, that's the universal language.
That's really all that matters. Exactly.
We actually built in Dutch as a language into our platform for the Belgians. So that was really cool. And then we actually have Hear Me Cheer in 6 different languages now. So that's really cool. And we're always, adding more when new customers come on board.
But Elias, just to clarify, anyone can cheer in any language and you're hearing it. It's just the
100%. Yeah, it's just that the text that's on the screen will translate to whatever your computer is set to. So if your computer is set to English, it'll translate to English. And if your computer is set to Dutch, it'll translate to Dutch and so on and so forth.
It's pretty cool. Yeah. Now, question with both of you guys working together in some capacity, like what has that been like for each of you? How's that experience been? I guess we'll start with Adam just for the sake of convenience here.
I mean, man, it's been nonstop because we're both flying like 1,000 miles an hour. And while there is some overlap in clients, it's been mostly different. So I'd say it's been regular touch points. I think the most significant was probably the integration itself. And it's going back and forth to figure out like how and where this actually fits in our platform to make it as seamless as possible for the consumer. But it's been really quick. And since that has been live, then I think it's shifted more towards the sales side. And it's like, all right, like who are you talking to? I think we just did that like, 2 weeks ago or a week ago? Like, who are you talking to? Who are we talking to? Let's connect some dots. or like let's both go at like the NFL, you know, or something like that, right?
Yeah.
And so that's where we are now. I think now that Hype is coming to a nice kind of conclusion, it's a nice point to just be like, all right, like through Q4 also just what are we gonna crush? But no, man, it's been fun.
Yeah, I'm going to take credit for the Belgian sale, Adam, because you and I talked afterwards.
Sure.
You mentioned something. I'm going to call Manu back right now. And literally, I called him up. I redid the proposition, and he emailed Adam, and it's been done. Actually, I found out today. You told me it's been done. So.
Yeah, we we often say that Ryan helps us out with sales, but I think we're gonna have to just make him like VP of sales or something because he clearly communicates some of the value proposition better than I do. So it's good.
Elias, where to go to from here? Anything big? Any big projects working on? Anything you want to share? Or what's your goal? What's your target? Do you have a 6-month goal to be anywhere in terms of volume or number of people cheering? Anything?
Yeah, I mean, we're doing one of the hardest things that I've ever had to do as a human even, and that is to raise money right now. So that's always a challenge, and I didn't know what kind of challenge I was up against when I started. I mean, obviously I've never really raised capital in my life, so but I think in the next, by Christmas or the end of this fiscal year, I think we're hoping to be at around the $400,000 in sales, which would be great because our costs on our side are fairly limited, other than like having people watch the games. And to be honest, if you told me a few years ago that my job would be watching sporting events, I'd taken that life like 99 times out of 100. So
even make that worse. Your job is cheering for sporting events.
Yeah, so no, it's been a lot of fun, and I think over the next, I would say 2 or 3 months, we're just looking to expand into as many contracts as we can. We're actually expanding right now out of sports and into the entertainment industry as a whole, and then even into some sort of business side of things, like some corporate events and stuff like that, because we realize that if you normally have a big event where you have 1,000 people come to one location, you're not going to be able to do those events for at least a year or maybe even more than that, because the companies want to remain like they're caring a lot about COVID. So I think even in 6 months when they go to do corporate events, I think teams or companies are going to look to solutions like maybe a solution that Adam and I could put together, with some sort of visual component and an audio component. So I really think that that's sort of the future. We've actually integrated with Twitch, so that Twitch gamers can actually have people start, cheering on their platform, which is really cool.
Awesome.
Because there's 15 million daily active users on Twitch, for instance. So, and we actually are working towards a deal with a few other companies that are going to have hard devices, like Alexa type devices, in people's houses, where we can then stick Hear Me Cheer on, and have people actually cheer into those devices rather than a phone, so that they can have that sort of experience without the need to always have their phone open.
Cool. Well, Adam, any closing words? I want to be conscious of time. I know we have the New York Islanders final pitch after this. Vince, do you have one or two more questions?
No, I feel like you guys have taken me through a lot, and I'm just excited for you both. It sounds great.
Yeah. How are
Adam,
things in Philly?
Final words?
Things are good.
Yeah, things are good for me. I'm keeping busy. I got a bunch of different projects. I'm busy on the national scene in a good way again. So like just a lot of different things, man. But it's all good. Yeah, it's all good.
So we have the Islanders final pitches tonight.
Yep.
Both Adam and Elias are going to be on there. So they're getting ready for that. I know you guys are all really nervous and scared for this big pitch. We got that in 20 minutes. And then we have all the announcements. So just a reminder, it's next Tuesday will be the Hype demo day. And it's also going to be the Belgium versus Iceland big game where we're doing Hear Me Cheer and Vici. Elias, one last thing I just realized, and you just remind me again that I'm not going to have a FIST conference for a while, but we could use FanFest and we could use Hear Me Cheer, and when the people pitch, we can all clap and we can do it that way. So
Yeah,
we actually remember way back when at the Fist.
Yeah, I think I actually met Ryan through a Fist conference, and yeah, I got a free ticket from someone. You might have been Ryan. I don't remember, but it was a great opportunity. And then I sort of met Ryan. We talked for a while there, I remember, and then sort of when we came back to this opportunity this year, then it was an easy one to say yes to.
You actually called me right when I was in Porto, right when I landed, and you were explaining to me your product, because I remember walking around the park in Porto.
Yeah. I messaged you on LinkedIn. I do that a lot.
That's exactly
good move.
So, all right, Adam, Elias, thank you both very much. Best of luck to Vici FanFest. Best of luck to Hear Me Cheer. Looking forward to Demo Day. Looking forward to all the announcements. Positive news for you guys.
Thank you very much, Ryan and Vince.
Okay, so nice to check in with the guys, Ryan. They're doing really well. I mean, how about this? How about your little program here, getting people moving on up, if you will?
It's all real. If you had told me that, we're actually going to be announcing roughly 20 pilots at Demo Day next Tuesday. And when we kicked this whole thing off, we said, every club commit to one pilot. We had 13 clubs. We knew some clubs may not get there, but we got 20. We doubled the amount that we got, and 20 pilots is phenomenal. And some of these are already commercial deals. I mean, what Vici's going to talk about later today with PSG, there's revenue now exchanging hands, and there's other things happening. And they just did 2 million fans in America saw Vici FanFest. It's unbelievable.
It's so cool. It's so cool to see them keep on moving, and it's something that makes sense and is very modern, and like they're just right place at the right time, man, and good for those guys. Now, for you,
how great was that when the goal was scored?
Well, yeah, seeing the goal scored and everybody reacting, man, that kind of stuff is great. Because like right now in Philly, we have a team. The Flyers are doing some playoff hockey. At least as we're recording this, they are. We'll see how this goes. But they're playing tonight, and it's just that thrill.
So I'm going to try to distract Jamie from that. So Jamie's on the podcast. On that podcast, Jamie's has the final pitches tonight. What time is the Flyers game start? Your time?
So it starts 7:00 my time, I believe. I'll be in at work today. I'm hosting in Philly tonight, so I gotta, I'll be following the Phillies game. I got to do post game on the Phillies, so I'm locked in on that. But I think the Flyers game's at 7.
Got it. Yeah. So I'll get Jamie beforehand. But yeah, if we can pull it out tonight, and then tomorrow we have Jamie on the podcast. If you can remember to wear a Flyers jersey, we can get it all flyered up.
Yeah, no, I'll put on a Flyer shirt. I got some Gritty gear around the house and stuff, so I'll figure it out. I'll have something on for sure.
Gritty on. How about we get Gritty on the show?
Oh, well, there we go. Yeah, I mean, me and Gritty are very tight. We're best friends. We go out drinking together. We have a great time.
You could be Gritty a little bit.
I've got Gritty coloring. I have the Gritty starter kit, if you will, but I'm not quite on his level yet. So yeah, so we'll see how all that goes. But yeah, the joy that comes into getting a goal and seeing that with Adam putting up the Vici video and all that kind of stuff is great, and that's why the whole thing's fun. And for him to talk about transitioning the whole product from being just like massive rooms to small community rooms, that's what it's about. It's just having that celebration with your buddies, talking about the game and the build up, and like, oh, the team's screwed, and then what do you know, they score a goal and you go, oh my god, and now that's getting broadcast through the stadium, and it's just like it's amazing to see everything evolve, man. It's something as a kid I would have never imagined, and now it continues to amaze me. It's just so cool. Now, one of the things, and Ryan, I would assume at this point, I'm not going to force you to drink a bottle of wine, right? Is there any wine in the equation today? I might as well ask.
I got something today. So Barros Port, late bottle vintage. One of my best friends at MBA school is Eric Barros. I've always joked with him that this is his, but he told me that Barros is like Jones in English, or Smith. Okay. There's like a million of them. But so I bought this just for him. I'll make sure he watches this podcast today, and we'll taste a little Barros Port here.
There you go. And fantastic. There you go.
You can't get any better than Barros Port.
All right. So that's Ryan drinking wine. I'm Vince Quinn. And if you have not already liked, subscribed, all that good stuff with the show, we're also on LinkedIn. We've got a page up there. Well, do it. What are you watching the show? Like and subscribe. Come on, help us out. For the love of God, give us a break. So that's all right there on YouTube. If you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts, all the same, like, subscribe, good reviews, all that is appreciated. So demo day is coming up. That's on Tuesday. And we're going to have the link here in the description. I'm just going to point down. It's down here. So, right, yeah, there we go. There's the description for demo day. You can go find it. And I guess that's it. For Ryan McCumber, I am Vince Quinn. This is New Arenas presented by Fist, and we'll talk to you soon.